Hello and welcome to round 5 of the NPL, all thanks to the Adelaide Fence Co. Alby Kidd, welcome Alby.
Morning, Ditts.
Alby, already round 4 we've had, and we've lost our first coach. Comets coach Theo Tsunis resigned, came in after the game, a 4-1 drubbing at the hands of Metro Stars, and said he's pulling the pin.
Yeah, very disappointing to hear that about Theo. You know, he's won the first trophy for the club. He's in the history books here, but really something's went wrong there. You know, 4 games in, there's something amiss there. It's probably private that they're keeping it in-house, but I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of hands going up there, Ditts, for to get that position, because they are a very strong club. They're very financial and whatnot. But look, it's a shame to see Theo go.
It is. Look, they lost 2-0 to Olympic, and when you look at it now, Olympic are top of the ladder, so it may not be such a bad loss. But then they led 4-1 after. They led 1-0 after 5 minutes against Metro Stars. All looked good, and then it just fell apart. And I think, in his own words, this isn't me speaking, he felt he'd lost the change room. I know that there was a big meeting amongst the players afterwards, and the players obviously debated it for a long, long time. They felt that perhaps they could have done more, and I'm glad the players said that, because if you lose 4-1 and the previous week you lose 2-0, then maybe the players can put their hand up and take some blame as well. So we all wish Theo the best, and as I said, I think it's, you know, he was honest with himself. The players showed a bit of honesty as well, and let's hope they can move on from there.
I think it's a big thing these days where coaches, there's a lot of pressure on coaches now, Ditts, because player power, they call it. You know, there's a lot of players within different clubs that have a lot of power in the dressing room, and it's to me it's not right. And I'm going to contradict myself here, where you know you can't be a dinosaur coach where the actual coach is a disciplinarian or a dictator or whatnot in this day and age. But really the players have got to put their hand up there for getting beat. That's the first thing.
Yep. And
really, if you've got players in the dressing room that see, the coach has got a philosophy, and if they don't buy into that philosophy, it's a problem. And I know that's what's happening in the NPL. There's about 3 or 4 players in every dressing room that think they could have a say in the tactics or whatnot, and it's very, very wrong. Yep,
can be destructive, no doubt about that. All right, let's talk about the games last week now. In fact, I want to talk about the ladder as well. I mentioned Olympic, top of the ladder, going very, very well.
Well, you look at, let's speak about the bottom of the ladder.
Okay.
You know, it's very, very...
You take it. Oh, sorry, I want to talk about the top.
Very unfamiliar teams in the lower. You know, you've got Adelaide City, West Adelaide, Comets and Blue Eagles.
Yep.
That would never have happened a long time ago, or in the 10, 15 years ago or whatever. But Olympic, Croydon and Metro at the top there, that's... I'll tell you what, it makes for a great season.
Yeah. Again, I want to praise Croydon, because the way they've started the season under new coach and Costanzo, fantastic. And Olympic at the top, they're doing a great job.
I went to that game on Saturday, and it was a very, very balanced affair. I thought Croydon had the edge. I thought they maybe could have edged it, but really a lot of good players on show, and really that's the testimony of the NPL. It's a very, very strong league this year.
Yep, very tight indeed. Let's get to the player votes from the weekend. All right, going down the games there at the start, I want to mention Terence Carter. He's scored, I think, in every game so far this year, so doing a great job out there at Raiders. As we go down to the Campbelltown South Adelaide game, the Mullen boys all featuring in the votes.
Exactly. Daniel Mullen, Alex Mullen. Is there any other Mullins there? I think there's a few.
Joe's the only one that didn't get a vote. Yeah. Liam Wooding getting votes each and every week. He's scored from both coaches again, which is good to see. Hamish McCabe is having a great start to the year. He's been in the votes most weeks as well. In fact, let's get to the leaders board right now.
Hamish McCabe on 13 points. Josh Morey still up there with 12. Liam Wooding on 11. You've got Barr on 10 and Trimboli on 10 as well. So I'll tell you what, all the players from last year, that's a different leaderboard as well.
Different mix, it is indeed.
It is.
And I want to praise the coaches too, Alby, quite seriously. They are looking at both sides and being very, very fair with their votes, which hasn't always been the case, all right? But in our Triple M Player of the Year for the Tag Heuer watch from James Threadgold Jewellers, Hamish McCabe leading from Josh Morey at the moment. Let's look at the games coming up this weekend, Alby. So let's start with the live streaming game. Alby, how do you see this one?
Yeah, Adelaide City versus Campbelltown. You know, Adelaide City, good draw against Raiders at the weekend, but Campbelltown coming off a big win against Panthers, so that's going to be a very, very tough game. But really, you've got to go for Campbelltown in that game.
All right, now that's a 7 o'clock start on Saturday. The other game that really interests me is Croydon and Metro Stars.
Yeah, that'll be a tough game as well for Metro. look, they could set their stall out there against Croydon, but that's a good benchmark to see where they're at, because I think that's got a draw all over it. I think that's
all right. Comets need to bounce back. We know the turmoil that's happened this week. They've got to travel to South Adelaide. I wouldn't want to be going to South Adelaide when you need to get a win.
Yeah, I just wonder if they'll have a coach appointed by that time. But it is important, you know. Benny Dale trying to get his first win for Panthers. He'll be keen to get them when they're at their lowest. So yeah, big game for Comets.
Yeah, all right. Who should coach Comets? You got any names in mind?
Well, obviously the names that springs to mind is Damien Morey, Barnett, Mickey Barnett, Barney Smith might be an option, Stubbins might be an option, but for me, I think Brenton Hearn would be a very good appointment there.
Yep.
I think Hearn is, you know, not only has he got a bit of business acumen about him, he's a very, very good coach. He's got the scores on the board. Look, Theo mentioned the NPL being a pressure pot situation and maybe a full-time gig, Ditts, you know.
Has it really come that far? Does it need to be full-time coaching?
Well, I think it may possibly merit that, but anybody that's going to step into that role, they need to have a management acumen, because there's a lot of things that needs to be managed now. We mentioned the player power in the dressing room.
Yep.
So for me, Brenton Hearn and Damien Morey would be the up the top of the ladder there to be picked for the job. But then again, I must say about Morey, he might be looking to the bigger picture.
Yep.
That we heard the story about
couple
Adelaide
of jobs
United.
available, yeah.
Cut's been involved to leaving the club. He'll have his eye on Adelaide United job, I would say.
Yeah. All right. Have another great week at the football. Alby, NPL Round 5 come out thanks to the Adelaide Fence Co. and Chris O'Toole and everyone at the Adelaide Fence Co. Alby actually needs a new fence as we speak. You just mentioned it to me before.
Please call me.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next week.